was awesome. He's awesome. You know, he's my wrestling coach to this day, my coach in life, great person, and he's got that attitude, you know, and he is the reason Coach Eric Davies here in South Florida. He is the reason that I got into jiu-jitsu, I got into fighting. Why? Because I came up short in wrestling. I got burnt out, came up short. You know, Coach was telling me what I needed to do to become a champion. And, you know, I was young. Hey, I know it all. You know, I kind of block it out. I know it all, man. What is this guy telling me? You know, well, that was, you know, because I thought I knew it all. Well, I didn't know it all. That's why I came up short, you know, and I went away to college and I found myself, you know, I want to break away. I'm burnt out. I don't want anything to do with this. And, you know, it got deep down inside me and lurked inside me and said, you know, this normal thing is not for me. I'm trying it right now. It's bullshit. This is bullshit. I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. I want to be a champion. And Coach's words, they took years, but they sunk in on me, and they sunk in so deep, and they really brought out the best in me, you know. And I just had, you know, what people call an epiphany, you know, and something clicked, and I just went out and I started training like a madman on my own. No one's got to push me out the door. No one's got to wake me up. Everything that I hated doing when I wrestled, but I did it because I knew I wanted to win. I learned to love it. I finally learned to love it. I never loved it in high school. I finally learned to love it when Coach's words sunk in, when all that stuff I saw on Dan Gable, when it really sunk in, you know, with what I know really sinks in and becomes knowledge and is lurking inside of me and everything I do, and say, this is what I'm born for. This is what I'm made for. But this time I want to do it, but I want to take it to another level. And wrestling, there's rules. Take it to another level. I don't want rules. I don't want boundaries. So let's make this thing, let's complete this, you know, what's about to go down. Let's make sure it's complete. There's no boundaries. It's infinite. We're working with the infinite now. So now we're talking jiu-jitsu. I got into jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. Things are happening from every angle. There's no rules. It's either submission or knockout.
Well, what was your first introduction to jiu-jitsu after wrestling? Where did you go? Was there a location that you went to train? Was there someone that you had met? Did Coach hook you up with someone to go talk to? What happened?
No, I got back into pushing around and wrestling, and then I had some friends who were, hey, you know, look at this, Dustin, look at this, check this out, look, this is an armbar, this is a choke, look at this stuff, you know, and I said, wow, check this out, you know, it clicked for me. This is pretty cool, you know. And then had a roommate. We saw some stuff on TV, and he said, yeah, these guys, they're down in South Florida, and I connected with those guys. I said, all right, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. Done deal.
There's a new challenge for you.
That's it. This is what I've been looking for. This is it. Here it is. Here's the runway. Let's go. Let's take off.
One of the things that you impressed upon me, you know, just going through your site and, you know, just trying to learn as much about, you know, what drives you and, like, where you came from over the past week or so. You talked about jiu-jitsu and how everything's based on the basics, and you must master the basics. Is that where you started?
Oh yeah, you know, I'm real fortunate. You know, my first instructors, they great basics. You know, I feel really fortunate because, you know, when it comes down to it, everything goes back to basics. You know, all that fancy stuff, all that shit's for Hollywood. You know, everything goes back to basics. That's the foundation. What good is the fifth and sixth floor if there's no solid first?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Doesn't exist. Everything's going to come crashing down. So that foundation, that's key. You know, that's got to be solid as a rock, and then some.
So you go in and you start taking jiu-jitsu classes. You start immersing yourself into the training, and you're loving it. All the stuff that's hard, you're doing extra because you finally understand what it takes to be a champion. Where was the bridge to meet Nogueira Brothers?
Well, at my original dojo in South Florida, I trained with we were a demolition team, Carlson Gracie Academy, Miami. Trained with the Silvera brothers, Marcus and Marcelo Silvera, great instructors. And we had the dojo down there. It was awesome dojo. We trained hard, no bullshit. It was good, hard training. No bullshit, no pansy bullshit. We worked hard. And we had great coaches behind us. We had, excellent coaches. So it made our team a powerhouse. And, this is when jiu-jitsu was first coming up, and it was really breaking out because it was proven that this was right after it was proven that, hey, jiu-jitsu is the real deal. You got to respect it. At the time, it's on the scene, and, it's the ultimate martial art as far as the world's concerned because it was right there on the scene, really, really making a statement. And the guys I was training with, Marcus and Marcelo, they were in South Florida, in Miami, and then there were maybe there was one other academy in South Florida, but there wasn't much. I had to commute 45 minutes a day to get to Miami Beach, just to get to the academy. And that was on a day with no traffic, So we're looking at realistically 45 minutes to an hour to get to training, 45 minutes to an hour to get home. That's nothing when you want gold medals and you want, when you're willing to make sacrifice and get after it and become the best you can be. So I made that commute every day. And then after the Pan American Championship in 1999, Minotauro, the Nogueira brothers, their mother's here in South Florida. So Rodrigo, big brother, Minotauro, he stayed. He won the Pan American. He cleaned house in Brown Belt. Cleaned house. He ran a demolition on everything in sight that got in front of him was destroyed. And I saw him there. I saw him. I didn't know him. I saw him there. I was impressed. I said, man, look at this guy. Look at it. I thought to myself, this guy from Brazil he just wrecked everybody. Man, he took over. And it turns out, he stayed in South Florida because his mother lives in South Florida, and he needed a dojo to train in that meantime. That couple months he was staying here with his family, looking to learn English, and he came down to Conan's because he had only a couple choices of places to train.
Right. And
he learns real quick with us that we train hard. Cut through the bullshit, we train hard. And, we also, we did MMA too. We weren't just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We were Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, represent, fighting out of that Carlson Gracie Academy, world famous, best team ever, powerhouse from Brazil. Putting out lots of great fighters, Jiu-Jitsu fighters, MMA fighters, MMA fighters who hold it down and represent hold the flag of Jiu-Jitsu. Really hold that flag and represent Jiu-Jitsu to the max. Put it on that battlefield, mixed martial arts. You believe in your art, put it there. You believe in Jiu-Jitsu, you really believe in it, you really believe in what you do best, go put it on the line with somebody who wants to knock your head to the next planet. That's represent. So Minotauro, we connected in there. We saw, we connected, and right when we met, we hit it off. Why? Because we work hard. We get after gold medals. That's what we do. So we started training full time. Full time from the afternoon to middle of the night. I'm talking we'd be wrapping up at 2, 3 in the morning so many times, so often. It was daily operation for us to be wrapping up at 2, 3 in the morning. You know, we were training in a gym where we had some mat space in Hialeah. You know, we were still training with the demolition team, but we needed more than that. You know, we needed more. We need more mat space. We need to train. We need to train more. Why? Because the enemies are training. Normal class schedule is not enough for us because we're not normal. We want gold medals. We need something more. So we're in there. I remember so many times, you know, looking at the clock. It's 2 in the morning. And we're just throwing down. You know, it's pouring rain outside. The gym lights are off. Everything's closed. You know, the guy left us with the key to lock the door, and it's like we're there to work.
Wow.
So, and then from there it was off to Brazil. You know, I said to Minotauro one day, hey, man, you know, someday I want to go to Brazil. And he said, let's go, Colleen. I mean, literally, he pulled into a place, and we got some plane tickets same day.
Wow. So you went and you lived with both brothers, and you slept on their couch?
Yeah, it was me, Minotauro, and Rogério, and Minotauro's girlfriend in a small one-bedroom apartment in Rio de Janeiro.
Well,
Yeah, I actually slept on the floor. The floor was more comfortable than the couch. I had a little setup there, you know, surrounded by 3 fans because the sun comes out blazing at like 7 a.m., 40, 44 degrees in Rio. It was blazing hot, you know.
Wow.
Got to have my fans on.
Well, one of the things that one of the videos that stood out for me was how you were talking about getting gold medals, and you said that every time you pass Minotauro's gold medals, there's this one medal that he had that had a lightning bolt on it, and you talked about how you wanted that medal and you wanted it and you trained hard, and when you went to the tournament, you came up short, and you talked about the learning curve, and you said you had to pass that medal for another year before you had another opportunity.
I mean, and in that mix, in that year, I got, you know, I just got so many gold medals, I lost count. You know,
well, tell me,
you know, I got those lightning bolts. You know, that was big. I mean, that was good. You know, it builds character. You know, you keep getting after it. You keep getting after it. You stick to your guns. You know, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. There's something to be said for that. You know, you do your hard time. You take the hard road. You put your work in. You never back off. And you will achieve.
Why do you think you talked about how the majority of the population, you know, they might get knocked down once and they get up. They might get knocked down again and they get up. But if they keep getting knocked down, eventually they're going to stop getting up. They quit. It's too hard. You know, why, how did you find the strength, or how did you find the motivation? To keep going that whole nother year, looking at those medals, knowing that you missed your opportunity and you got to, you talked about when you went into the tournament the second time, you were like super powered because there's no way you'll be denied this year. You know, tell me about like.
Yeah, I went there and I beat. I just went there and took over. You know, and I beat some guys. People look at their name on paper and they say, "Wow, that guy's the man." Yeah, I took that man out that day. You know, it didn't really matter who was on the other end of it that day against me. They were going to lose. You know, that was my day. The sun rose for me. I tell you what it comes down to is, you know, you hear how people say, you know, hard work pays off. You hear that your whole life growing up in the States, and especially through wrestling, they're drilling it in your head, you know, hard work. It's all hard work. Hard work's going to pay off. You know, you put your time in, you take the hard road. And, you know, I really stuck to that. You know, and it came, you know, because, you know, I tell people, like, they don't realize the sacrifice I made. They just don't realize. And you know, only a few, almost none, will. You know, who can be those great champions? Those guys will know what I'm talking about. You know, that championship, that gold medal mindset. Once you got it, you know, it's like a ghost.